Hey, and welcome back to our channel for Coffee and Conversations
This is video number 4
of Codependency.
and you're going to read out what we've covered so far.
Yeah, so far in our previous videos, we've covered the symptoms of codependency. So the inability to communicate properly, fear of abandonment, needs the approval of others, struggles with decision-making, low self-esteem, unable to find happiness without your partner or others, giving up on your health, and constant feeling of anxiety. And today we're going to cover taking on responsibility of the partner and failure to see codependency. So, taking on responsibility. Oh man, have we dealt with that big time. And that was probably the main symptom that I started to recognize something's not right here. Because if there were any emotions going on in either one of us, the other one had to feel it too. I needed him to be feeling what I'm feeling for him to understand what I'm going through. And you needed the same thing. And we would go down this dark tunnel in our conversations and get just bogged down by all the emotion when it wasn't yours to begin with or wasn't mine to begin with. And another thing that I noticed I was doing is I was enabling a lot of his addictions that were going on during the marriage. And I would make a lot of excuses and take responsibility for why you are the way that you are towards other people. And so also minimizing your choices and decisions that you're making so that you don't look as bad was another way that I would take on
I can see that.
responsibility. And as well as just around our house with Haven, with the boys, taking on those kind of responsibilities in an emotional way to complete you in some way.
Yeah.
It's like I was helping you by being responsible for you when you need to be responsible for you.
Right.
It makes perfect sense why neither one of us were acting like responsible adults, because we weren't giving each other that chance to actually be responsible.
Yeah, what came up for me when you were saying that is when you would come home, let's say from work, and you had a really tough day or maybe a tough conversation and you were in a really bad place, bawling and crying and all emotional and have all these feelings and all these
a lot of
words. And honestly, I did not want to be in the same emotion as you because I did not see what you saw. I was snap out of that. You should not feel that way. And I would try to fix you. And when I wasn't fixing you good, I would be maybe I can join her in this, because I would be leaning into your emotion. And then once I leaned into the emotion, I would go down this rabbit trail too with her.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is when I got down there with her, she would come right back out and she's good. And I would be stuck in these feelings and emotions and man, I took that on and now I'm stuck with this.
Yeah. I remember sitting in our counselor's office talking about that multiple times. It was such a big issue, specifically for you, because you would be fine until I unloaded and just emotional vomit all over you. And now you're in the depths of despair. And I'm what just happened? But you literally took all that on. And I didn't know why. But now I see, oh yeah, we were so codependent on each other.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I definitely was, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the second one?
The second one is failure to see codependency.
Yeah, so failure to see. What that looks like is I would not have said, yeah, I'm codependent.
Well, yeah, like if somebody would have said, do you think your marriage is codependent? I would have been like,
No.
no, that is ridiculous. I'm an independent woman and I don't need anyone, but I was looking for you to complete me. And so there was so much like not looking and blind spots too.
The movie from Jerry Maguire does not help us out in this particular scenario in marriage where he says, you complete me.
No.
Because it's not true. It's not true. I am whole and complete because God made me whole and complete. If there's any part of me that is lacking as an individual, and then I come into a marriage expecting you to fulfill me or fill me in that area I'm lacking, you will always disappoint me.
Yeah.
Every single time will disappoint me. And what I did not like, a blind spot that was there for me was knowing that that part was missing all along. And I was just expecting people to fill me and give me happiness and complete the side of me that was incomplete, the side of me that I thought was broken.
Yeah.
And that is where I was miserable in my life. But I did not know it was there. It was like it was a blind spot that wasn't even I was able to connect with until I can't tell you the catalyst.
It was when we started going to Jesus to be fulfilled. Because I think the whole time of our 12, 13 years of codependency, never in those 13 years were we seeking after putting God priority in our life.
I would have said yes.
And neither one of us were taking good care of me.
Yeah.
And so now we know that if I am feeling empty, the place I go is to my Lord. And we have an example of that where you go to a restaurant and you sit at a table and your waitress comes over and she's like, can I get you something to drink? And you're like, yeah, I'll take water. And she goes to fill your water and it's empty. And you're like, are you pouring or what's going on? And it's just this empty pitcher. And you know, what there is to get for that is sometimes we need to go back to the waitress station and fill up. And that's who Jesus is to us, is our waitress station. That's who we go to fill us up, because that's why we're incomplete, is he created us to have a relationship with him. That was the whole purpose of creating human beings, was to have relationship. And when I'm going to him to be filled up, man, I am so whole and complete. And there are things that drain my energy also, that keep me from being my best self. And so what we have found with that is really great self-care. And I didn't even know what that was until about 2 or 3 years ago.
Me too.
But I made a list of I didn't even know what I would enjoy, because I had never done anything like that for myself.
That's selfish, right? I mean,
it is selfish.
The thought there would be is selfish. It's not true.
Right. To put myself first is selfish. But anyways, if I am not filled up, I cannot pour into other people. Can't pour into our children. I can't pour into you. I can't pour into anyone when I'm empty. And so not only am I going to God to fill up my emotion and my soul, but I'm also filling up like who I am and what I love. And so I created this list, and because I didn't even know what I enjoy, I had to write things down that I'd never tried before. And one of them was painting, and I had going for a walk, and I had take a hot bath, and all these things. I ended up with a list of like 30 things that I would like to try to see if they fulfill me in some kind of a way. And what I found is that when I take just a little bit of me time, for me, it is I take a walk first thing in the morning, and then I do yoga. And that is what I do for me, so that for the rest of the day, I can pour into other people. And that is what being whole and complete looks like around codependency in marriage.
Yeah. I think that was great to hit on those two. And I just want to speak to you for a second. If you are feeling similar to what we just said, if you're feeling empty, you're the waitress. You're the waitress that's going out and trying to pour into others, and you're empty and you're trying to pour into others. I just want to speak into you and say that it's time to take care of yourself. It's time to put yourself as a priority. It's not a selfish thing.
No.
You cannot pour into others effectively without filling yourself up. You're just going to be depleted. And so
go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Jesus in the Bible says his greatest commandment is to love God and love others as your neighbor or as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Yeah,
for
the
me.
greatest commandment, Jesus said when he was asked, well, what is the greatest commandment? And he said, love God with everything that you have, all your mind, body, and soul. And the second is just as important, and that is love your neighbors as yourself. That's
yourself.
The part. That's the part that's important, because what I didn't have for me is I did not know how to love myself. And if you don't know how to love yourself, you cannot effectively love others or God the way that you were designed to.
Yeah.
It just is not possible.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope you really got something out of these videos around codependency, and be sure to join us for our next coffee and conversations.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you're new to our channel, come check out this video to find out more about who we are and what we're up to.
Yeah, and we would love for you to join our tribe. So go ahead and click that subscribe button.